that to me?
No, I'm gonna.
Yeah, I got it. Relax.
God, the.
Soon.
God fucking damn it.
The answer is
Hey, we
no,
are
Phil.
live here at We Called It. Philip Call joined with Connor Lucas. We are going to be talking NFL win totals. But first, we are going to be talking about Will Levis looking great in his underwear, as well as Anthony Richardson having a nice little workout. Connor, right before the show, you were telling me some fun quotes you had on the Richardson Pro Day. Why don't you, share those with the rest of our viewers?
Yeah. Well, everybody already, if you're paying attention at all, you know that he's a polarizing QB prospect, period. So you're either one of the things, one of the two. You're either he's Cam Newton, Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes, Tom Brady, and Jesus Christ all mixed into one, or you're on the other side where people are also saying, specifically Barstool, that says Anthony Richardson throws reminds the world that he has a hit cannon by hitting the ceiling or the roof on his pro day, also to distract people from remembering that he's not very good at football. So, those are basically the two takes that I'm seeing here from the pro day. He's also a large human. If you didn't know that already, he can throw the ball very far. It doesn't matter if he can throw it to his team or the other team. He can throw the ball very far. Uh, but yeah, that's about it. And then the Raiders talked to him first, so Jimmy G may not be safe.
So what you're telling me is Anthony Richardson is a blend between he has the arm of Superman and the legs of the Flash, while also happens to be able to save lives in a Jesus Christ esque manner is what I'm
Yeah,
hearing.
but we also don't know if his football IQ is that of Patrick Mahomes or that of Jamarcus Russell. We don't know yet. We have no idea.
Who needs a football IQ when you can throw a ball literally through a human?
Player Profiler has him as his comp, like his one for one comp, as they always
Yeah.
rate them, is Josh Allen. And of course, everyone's going to be like, ooh, Josh Allen. I mean, I'm not saying that. Okay, that's the natural, perfect world. But again, our friend Evan has given us advanced statistics plenty of times. His adjusted completion percentage for, I don't know, whatever that hard line special stat was, that basically takes out, all right, fine,
Takes
the
away
throws that
throwaways, things
yeah,
like fourth quarter or fourth down chucks and stuff like that.
yes, important throws that take out throwaways. His completion percentage is the worst in the last 15 years. So I don't know. If he falls to me in fantasy drafts, and I've got a late first, and for me personally, if he goes somewhere that I have uh you know if I have his bridge quarterback that's in front of him, yeah, he might be worth a stash. But am I taking him in the top 5 picks of my fantasy draft? No. I mean, it's just so much risk. I get it, but man, hard to tell. And if I'm drafting him, take fantasy out, man, I gotta have. You can't have a first year head coach. You just can't. You can't have a first time head coach with him,
Well, what
unless
about the Colts? The
unless
Colts are there. The Colts are there at 4. They have the Eagles' former OC.
Gannon. Gannon,
No,
I get that,
Steichen,
but
Shane Steichen.
Steichen, sorry, Shane
Yeah.
Steichen, excuse me. Gannon's the one that's in Arizona, but uh, man, I who do you have in front of him? Seriously, who do you have in front of him? You just let Matt Ryan go.
Oh, don't you talk bad about Minshew Mania.
Oh, that's right. I
I would
forgot
I
they
would
got Minshew.
10,000% sign up for Minshew Mania. The man with a noodle arm who can't run, followed up by Superman right behind.
Who can't throw? So what do you expect? Their whole season is just a mess.
Gosh, could you imagine being a receiver there? It's like the first half of the season, you're catching softballs from Minshew, and the
Yeah.
second half of the season, you're getting your head taken off by Richardson.
Or you're just not attempting to catch the pass because it's 10 yards over you. It doesn't matter.
Oh, those are the dangerous ones too, because like you lift up, it's a slant, you get nailed in the ribs, you're out for the rest of
Is
the
he?
life.
Are they? They're at 4.
Yeah, they're at 4. So the Cardinals
Supposedly,
are
they're
at 3.
interested in trading up.
Yeah. The only place they can go is 3 though, because it's allegedly Stroud, Bryce Young going 1-2. So 3 Cardinals have Murray, who they tied up, is the only spot that would be available.
Yeah, they want to go 1-2. They want. I'm not convinced that Carolina is convinced that they have conviction on somebody. I wouldn't be surprised if they let somebody
Hey,
else make.
reports are from a very reputable source, the internet, that Stroud is 1, Stroud or Young is 1, and the other one is 2. So it's like Stroud and
See,
Young are
I
1
mean,
and
I
2.
get that. Like, I'm watching it. I see that as well. Spent the most time, whatever his face. Josh McCown spent the most time at his pro day, and no, they've also been to everyone else's pro day. They were at Richardson's today, had dinner afterwards, and blah blah blah, or had a meetup afterwards. And
Fun
I
fact,
mean,
I don't know what
okay,
you do after you work all day, but typically I like to eat dinner. That's not news.
okay, but I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I I think it's Stroud too, but you just got Andy Dalton. You know, you have a defense that's pretty good. Like, it's pretty ready to go. You got some flyers at wide receiver, a 32-year-old man at wide receiver, and a journeyman wide Z. You know,
Hey, it is better than what they had, at least. Let's
yeah,
go on, though. The quarterback no one's talking about, who's clearly number 4, is Will Levis. I love that there is his hype right now is the fact that he posted a picture in his underwear and it's
yeah.
like, dude, look how ripped I am. And everyone is shredding him for it because, like, dude, quarterbacks don't look like that. I'm like, have you seen Cam Newton? He's pretty cut up. Like, if this dude loves to work out, like, it's got to be a plus. But also, I get the if your muscles are too big, you literally don't have a full range of motion to throw from.
Yeah, I think it's a dumb thing. I definitely think it's not very smart of him. Well, I shouldn't say that. I just don't think that it's like useless to do that. Like, who cares? Great. Yeah, I mean, think about, like, as crazy as it sounds. Think about you know Tom Brady. As crazy as it sounds. I'm
That's
serious.
it. Just think
Noodle.
about Tom Brady.
No, think Noodle. He looked like a wet noodle. His whole
Yeah.
body. The opposite of Will Levis.
All right, for the record, I am out on Will Levis. He is like 100% the guy I would just let fall in a draft. However, I just think it's hilarious that the dude literally posts like
Yeah, this was like
high
a
school
weird.
teenager selfie, like, "Hey, I've been working out. Check out my abs," and it's the only news about him.
Yeah, it's
So,
weird. I don't. He had a pro day, didn't he?
yeah, but it's again with these pro days, I don't care about guys throwing in their underwear. You know, I don't look at Calvin Klein. What's it called? Underwear shoot things. So, just not for me.
I guess, man.
All right, let's get on to what people really came here for. Win totals. Over unders were posted on DraftKings. We'll be doing the top 16 this week and the bottom 16 next week. So we start off with the cream of the crop, the Super Bowl champions. Kansas City Chiefs are all the way up there at 11 and a half wins. Are you do you think they can top last year?
I
If you
mean,
don't
they're
have an
always going.
opinion, you can be like, I'm not gonna make a bet on it, but I think they'll be
I
good
just
or
need to
bad.
see their schedule, but I don't think that. I mean, it's not out of. If they get DeAndre Hopkins, I think that's very important for them. I mean, I can't. I'm surprised that they haven't made more splash in free agency. What they do? I think they've gotten what, like a tackle.
They swapped out their left tackle. They have multiple first rounders this year, I think, because they should have someone else. They
But
have
they're
the
like middle
Dolphins.
to late, I think, aren't they?
Yeah, they're back end.
I mean,
But
fine. They've got the Broncos.
they've been
They've
nailing their
got
draft picks except for Ceh.
yeah. Outside of their division, of course they get Cincy. They get the
They get the
Jets. That's a
Cincy, they get the
win.
Bills and the Jags. Yeah,
I mean, but they should blow out, pretty much the majority. I shouldn't say that. They'll probably end up splitting with, like, I don't know, the Chargers in their division. I still am a big Chargers guy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I still see them over. I really do. I think they're going to be over. I know that's kind of crazy, but I don't
Well,
see
it's like
anybody in here that's going to be what they got the Eagles, which I think are down. Bengals, so they got the Bengals, maybe a loss, which apparently they have their number. They've got
Buffalo's a
one
W,
of
I think.
Buffalo, maybe Chargers once, Lions maybe. There's four maybe, and maybe they split with the Broncos, and that's if the Broncos are good. That's it. That's 12. I got 5 losses, and that's like yeah.
They, I'm with you, man. They're just like when you win a Super Bowl in a year that you're like figuring things out, it's just a win. Kadarius Toney comes in, can be a legit one, I think. Well, number 2 to Travis Kelce, but then you got Sky Moore also. I just hate that Nick Wright likes the Chiefs because it's a you just get some
So what? I mean, that's not even
you
a
get
good
some
take.
meme post is what I mean.
It's not even a good take. It's not. It's
All
really
right, let's
not.
go on. Number 2 team, Cincinnati Bengals. What's it? They fell just short of going to the Super Bowl with a late fourth quarter loss to the Chiefs. 11.5 is their win total. You think they go over or under, or is this too close to call?
Who is this? I'm looking at our
The
list.
Bengals.
Oh, boo, boo. I think over because their division. Let me see. I just don't see them having much. I really don't
Oh,
see them having
wait
much
till we
better.
get to the Cleveland Browns. My sleeper pick. Spoiler alert.
All right, fine. You split with the Browns. So what? Who else do they
Okay.
have? All
The
right, so they've got
Ravens without Lamar Jackson.
no
Kenny Pickett.
Lamar. Yeah. So you got the Bills. Maybe they lose to the Bills. Hold on. Hang on. That's 23. I need to see 23.
Do you like my manly coffee cup, by the way?
I can't even see it. What the heck? Hold on. Put that back up. Yeah, you're cool.
Sarah buys all of these for work. I never buy like the heated ones or like the ones that keep the temperature, whatever it's called.
Yeah.
Insulated cups. Yeah. So I have to live with whatever she picks out. So that's why I typically drink out of pink polka dot cups.
That's. I mean, I wouldn't put that on this channel, but good for you, I guess. You want everybody to know.
Well, you're over here looking, so I thought I would share. Give you a chance to do your research.
All right. What are these clowns doing here? All right. So
who are you looking at?
The Bengals. I see them losing to the 49ers, maybe, probably, maybe. 49ers, Chiefs, there's 2, 3. Maybe the Rams, 4. Maybe the Browns, 5. And maybe they split with Baltimore, but maybe they cover one of those other games. Maybe the Bills suck this year. I don't. Maybe Jacksonville.
I agree. This one's too close to call. I like them. I don't like them that much. I don't know. It's just like they did the same. Like they brought in a new left tackle, which is nice, but they're losing Jonah Williams, which sucks because like the problem is their offensive line depth. That's what killed them.
Yeah,
and then
no doubt.
They still have T. Higgins. They still have Jamar Chase. If they can stay healthy, they're deadly. Get Mixon off your books, and you got to find a running back. You lost P. Ryan too. So we'll see. I, mean, I don't think it's that big a deal. I think they're in that 10 to 12 win range, though. All right.
I just don't know if 11 and a half is still spicy. I think they have clearly Vegas does too. I think they have a better chance of being under 11 and a half than
All right.
City does.
Here's my favorite 11 and a half. Going over on this one. San Francisco 49ers. You keep talking about matchups and all that jazz. Well, they get the Seahawks twice, they get the Rams twice, and they get the Cardinals twice. Like, those three are all bottom half teams. We actually will not be talking about any of them, besides anyone in that division besides the 49ers. That's 5 or 6 wins. I'll give them a random loss for fluky reasons. I don't care who their quarterback is. If it's Sam Darnold, that's fine. If it's Trey Lance, that's fine. Brock Purdy will come back at the end of the year. I love what they did defensively. I love their offensive weapons. They'll figure it out. Shanahan's a genius. Over 11.5. What do you think?
Dude, you're such man, everybody loves the Shanahan fellow.
Dude, I have the beginning of our show and it has paid off. So
I mean, fine, but like the guy still hasn't won a Super Bowl.
He has been up by 10 in 2 Super Bowls.
Oh, cool. Oh, cool. Almost. That's what we're doing.
How many Super Bowls have you almost won?
Plenty of fantasy Super Bowls. I don't know much about. I look at their schedule and I'm like, yeah, they could win every one of these games. I could see them dropping a random game though. Couple.
Yeah, go ahead, drop 2-3 random games. Everyone does it. It's not a big deal, but at the end of the day, that's a 12 to 14 win team in my opinion.
They open with the Commanders though. That'll be telling.
That is a big risk for Sam Darnold. You know he has a problem seeing ghosts, and there's Commanders.
I don't know why you think Sam Darnold, man. They're gonna have.
You said they're trading Trey Lance.
Yeah, and they probably are. They said they're open to trading Trey Lance.
And who's going to be their quarterback then?
Brock Purdy.
The 11. He's out to start the first 6 games.
No, he's not. They actually just came out and said that he's going to be. They think he's going to be ready for training camp.
Oh, you know who else was supposed to be ready at the start of last year? J.K. Dobbins. I'm not trusting someone with a Tommy John's injury to come back early.
Whatever.
Get out.
They didn't reconstruct it. They just reattached it or whatever the difference was.
$12 million for your backup quarterback. Darnold's going to start 2 to 3 games. And he's going to go 1 and 2. I'm just kidding.
They're going to lose 2 to 3 games then.
Game on. I bet you they go over 11.5 wins.
That's not the point. I said the games that Darnold starts, they're going to go 500 or worse.
You can say that all you want, but I don't care.
They open with the Commanders. They will lose to the Commanders if Darnold starts.
I'll take that bet. Sam Darnold versus Sam Howell. The battle of the Sams.
Fine with me.
All right, here we go. Jacksonville Jaguars, 10.5. This is another one. I got 6 wins in division. Give me the Jags over.
Yeah. What is it, 10.5 you said?
Yep.
What do they need? So they need to lose 7 games. Yeah, they got the Texans twice, Colts twice,
Titans twice.
Titans they might split with. New Orleans, they got Atlanta. Yeah. All right, so they lose Bills, they lose Chiefs, they lose Niners. There's 3. Maybe they split one with your Brownies. Oh, they lose the Brownies and the Bengals. What was that, 5, 6? Okay, yeah. If they split with the Titans, then they have a problem. Or if the Saints are actually good, then yeah, it's questionable. But I think that's
we will talk about the Saints shortly.
I think they'll be over.
All right,
I think
go
they'll
on.
Be over.
We gotta start giving a confidence with this too. Is it enough to bet it?
I would bet Jacksonville.
I was gonna say I would bet Jacksonville and the 49ers. Those are the only 2. And that's just like I said because of divisions.
And I would bet Kansas City.
All right, let's go on then. Buffalo Bills. We laugh at divisions. Theirs allegedly just got harder. Aaron Rodgers twice, Tua and the Dolphins twice, and then potentially the rumors are out. Lamar Jackson twice.
I'm under these guys. I think it's falling apart very quickly, unfortunately.
What is falling apart about this regular season juggernaut, though?
I just don't. Fine, you have Josh Allen. uh, great, grand. I'm just not convinced that. All right, fine. You lose to Kansas City, potentially lose to L.A. Chargers. You like look at that. The opener: Chiefs, Chargers, Dolphins, Patriots, Jets, Eagles.
That
Yeah,
sucks. Yeah, that's rough.
okay. Oh, and then Dolphins again. Patriots again. They don't do anything. They don't have a guaranteed win until Vegas. Seriously. They go Chiefs, Chargers, Dolphins, Patriots, Jets, Eagles, Dolphins again, Patriots again. Wait, no, we don't have this order. We don't have this order.
That's
Excuse
not
me.
ordered, but in general, like
But in
I get it.
general, those are all people that you're going to play over twice. And how in the world did they get? Yeah, I don't know. And they and they're out of conference. Eagles. They picked the Eagles, the Commanders, the Jacksonville Jaguars, the Bengals. I'm telling you, man, I'm under on this one, and I would
Uh,
bet that.
I'm following your lead.
I
They haven't addressed their problems either, and it just continues to be a. They need to get rid of McDermott. I love McDermott. I thought he did a good job getting him, but you need more innovation to get you over the top, and they
I
simply don't
just
have it.
I'm telling you, like they didn't do enough at the wide receiver position yet. Supposedly they may be in on OBJ. I don't know about that. So they're going to draft someone, fine, but Stephon Diggs is gonna. I am just not a fan of like outside of fantasy, like cancerous, whiny dudes. That
Dude, when he is getting 10 plus targets in playoff games and complaining, it's a problem.
so that's my point. I just don't like. I just don't. I don't know. I he's got talent, but he's also 29. I'm just not convinced that forever is going to be. I think this is the last year that if they don't do something, they're going to blow it all up. Everything except Josh.
Well, they can't because they gave Von Miller 6 years, 120 million, 90 million guaranteed or
Cut
something
him.
stupid.
Cut
All
him.
right. All right. Fly, Eagles fly. The NFC champion right here. They are at 10.5 wins also. Do you think they repeat?
God, I wish you would just share your screen because I keep forgetting. I'm reading stuff as you tell me who you're. Say it again. Say it again.
Philadelphia Eagles, 10.5 wins.
I need to look at their schedule, Phil.
Okay. Well, while you do that, let me tell you.
All
I
right.
am borderline on this one, but it's
I'm
only
not
because of other
confident in this
picks I
one.
have. Spoiler
I'm
alerts.
already not.
Well,
I
so I'll tell you, like divisional games is why, and I hate my Cowboys, and I hate the Giants, so that's why I'm borderline. I think 10.5 is the right number. I think 10 to 12 is the ballpark.
Ooh, I think they should
They
win
did a
their
good
division,
job bringing back most of this team. So the coordinator
except for
changes
their
is.
coordinators.
I say
Except for the most important.
we will
People.
find out how much coordinators matter, and I'm guessing it's about 2 wins.
I'm guessing a lot.
Well, there were a 14 win team. They take a step back. That's 12, maybe 11, whatevs.
Man, I see them. That whole division is just kind of a nightmare now. They're like the AFC North, except back when the AFC North was like just everyone beat up on each other. That's how I feel like this division is going to be. What we expected last year in the Broncos division. I think that's
Yeah,
what's going to happen. Actually happen in
yeah.
the
I feel like a
the
lot of.
NFC
I feel like we're
East.
gonna have a lot of. So I think the Eagles are the best in this division. Clearly
Fine,
they have
but
the
I
highest
think
win
that
total. But it's like I don't think. The other three I don't think are too far behind.
it's hyper competitive though. You know
Yep.
what I mean? It's just hyper competitive.
All right. Next up, New York Jets, 9.5. This is laughable to me. I don't think Aaron Rodgers is that good.
Dude, their defense.
However,
though.
I love everything else about their team, for the record, except their wide receivers, who they blew up the receiving core to accommodate Aaron Rodgers. It's so stupid.
I mean, they still have Garrett Wilson. They're gonna get. They got Alan Lazard, Mecole Hardman. It's kind of a.
It's like it's like you're like, hey guys, I wrote all these bad contracts, and now you're like, they're just so awful. We got all these guys, and we overpaid them. It's gross.
I mean, in my opinion, though, I think some of it is Aaron Rodgers secretly just knows that he wants to be the savior, but also have a cop out. If I get all these guys that they want, then it's all on me. If they don't get these guys and I still go there, like Mecole Hardman, Alan Lazard, who cares? Like he'll be able to say, yeah, well, I didn't have enough support. All right, you got probably a top 10 to 15, definitely in fantasy, top 10 dynasty wide receiver, a top 10 talent wide receiver right now in Garrett Wilson. And then you have your soul food, Alan Lazard. Like, I get that. You can't have a
Let's
cop
do
out.
this real quick, because I'm curious your thoughts, because I was thinking about this today, and I see a lot of similarities. We'll do the Browns right after this, but the Browns receiving core versus the Jets' new receiving core. What do you
Browns
think?
all day. I would take Browns.
So, I think Amari and Garrett Wilson at this stage in their career are a wash or lean Garrett Wilson. I'm not going to say he's, head and shoulders better, but it's about the same.
That's fine, but it's funny that you say that. Side note, I told other people when Garrett Wilson was coming out, there's two players that he's going to be like. I might have even mentioned on this show. It was either Amari Cooper or Keenan Allen. Those were my top two comps for Garrett Wilson. Dead serious. Called it 18 months ago.
I'm sorry, because we didn't open the show. I meant to open the show with this too. You also called Eli Moore to the Browns the week before it happened. I was hyping up the Browns, and you came out and said, Eli Moore, you got to get him. Nailed that. Yeah. And then you called Thielen to the Panthers. When it comes to receivers, no one should ever question you, I think, is what we're getting at.
Thielen was a little bit more of a stretch. I thought Eli Moore would have been before Eli, but I just was looking at from veteran presence, wanting to be, hey, they got rid of everyone that was good on their offense. Deontay Foreman, CMC, DJ Moore, like gone. What's like it's the same thing the Houston Texans just did with Robert Woods. Solid veteran is going to get open. Downside of his career, young quarterback. What do? You just find somebody that'll say, "Oh crap, the plays. I don't even know if I read the defense right. He looks kind of open. He'll probably catch it." Adam Thielen, Robert Woods. Shark was a little bit of a surprise, but yeah. And then Eli Moore, easily the most talented. I shouldn't say easily. I'm trying to think of if I can actually make this claim. Easily, in my opinion, the best true, pure wide receiver that was actually on the market this year. I shouldn't say on the market, on the trade block.
I was going to say right behind DJ. I'd say he's the number 2 to DJ Moore. That got moved.
Yeah.
I honestly think when he was showcased in New York, he looked good. And when last year, he had he was solid the first 5 or 6 games. Then the Zach Wilson drama, he requested a trade, and I don't blame him. But then his game just tailed off, and it's like, all right, the dude didn't want to be there. I'm excited for him. He fills a perfect role outside. We're getting way sidetracked because we should be talking about the Jets win total.
Listen, if Aaron Rodgers goes there, I'm about total coin flip on if they get to this win total, but I would bet if I were to the under.
I think I go under here. I think they overachieved last year, with a tough feisty there was one game, I can't remember who it was, but they straight up showed up and they just hit him in the mouth, and the other team didn't show up, didn't want to play, and now teams are going to be ready for that physical style.
Vikings.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Mike White.
All right, let's go on then. Cleveland Browns, I mentioned it, 9.5. I have alluded to Deshaun Watson being ahead of Jalen Hurts in the MVP race after 9 weeks. Very odd,
You
very
don't
odd
even believe
measure.
your own take. I promise you, you do not even believe your own take.
Yeah, I do. I think
You're
so. The
talking
thing
yourself
is,
into it right now.
the thing is, my stance is fully how far can Deshaun Watson revert to what he was? And I think the Browns are doing everything they can to get him to that level now. I don't think the Browns have that tough a schedule. They play the AFC South, which is that's the Jags and a bunch of jokes. And then I think they play the NFC West, which is the 49ers and a bunch of jokes. So I'm here. I'm 100% saying I believe in Deshaun Watson to rebound to, top 10 quarterback level. I believe the rest of the Browns have a good team. And I pointed out that they did the roster moves they needed to make their team good. They have all the pieces. They got a new defensive coordinator who was a huge problem last year. So I am in Browns over 9.5. I think they compete with the Bengals for the division. Both teams end in the 10 to 12, 11 to 13 win range.
I think it'd probably be. I got the wrong meat. Okay.
Yeah, you do.
If anybody's wondering, I didn't get the right ground beef. Apparently.
Yeah.
Which I actually thought that was the one that I was supposed to get. It's fine. It doesn't matter. I think the Browns are going to go over this total. I wouldn't bet it, but I would say
There it
I
is.
think,
Deshaun Watson ahead of Jalen Hurts after 9 weeks for MVP. You heard it here. Connor just said it.
I think 9's a low total, and and seeing their schedule, I think is. I don't know, man. He is such a wild card, and that my problem here is I just don't want to root for him, so it's hard for me to be objective. He makes it so hard to be objective about anything, about fantasy, about rooting for the Browns, about I don't know. I'm serious. Rooting for his success, it's hard to.
Comments coming in. We've all been there. Beef, no beef, wrong beef, blue beef. It happens.
I'm telling you, I'm in trouble.
I mean, it's just a little bit fattier, I believe is what the comment was.
It'll burn off. It'll burn off when you cook it. It's fine.
Yeah. All right, let's go on then so that you can eat your dinner eventually. New Orleans Saints, 9.5. Derek Carr leading the way now. And let me tell you, no way does this get hit. What do you think?
They play in a crappy division, man. I mean, they're gonna get 2 wins versus you're gonna get at least 2 wins, unless you suck, versus the Panthers. You're gonna get one more versus the Buccaneers. You're gonna get what, one, maybe 2 more versus the Falcons. I think 2. I mean, that's what they're playing on. Like, I don't think that that's too crazy. What is that? 5, 6 wins right there. You got to get 4. I mean, unless your schedule is just absolutely garbage, which it's possible. I got to see who they have.
I think Dennis Allen, is that their coach? I think he's
Yeah.
awful coach. I think he does not deserve to be a coach, and I think it's going to be a problem.
Yeah, I mean, but I feel bad for Derek Carr because I feel like Derek Carr is like above average. I feel like he is
I've been on this. He is currently the 3rd best quarterback in the NFC. like that's how bad the quarterbacks are in the NFC.
The thing, like, I see a bunch of stats. Colin Cowherd is a big time, like, Derek Carr guy, and I don't always agree. I definitely don't always agree with Colin Cowherd, but like he pulls out some good paper. Like I would say he's better than Kirk Cousins, and I know that's not saying a ton, but from a stats perspective, he's better than Kirk Cousins or up there with Kirk Cousins, and I think he loses less games than Kirk Cousins. He's Kirk Cousins plus. And so that's why I'm torn on him and why this
he is
could
Kirk
be
Cousins if you had the chance to win a primetime game with Kirk
Yeah,
Cousins.
because he does win. He does have fourth quarter wins. He has fourth quarter
He
wins
had
and
a great
comebacks.
win against the Chiefs in a shootout, like 36-35 a few years ago. I know
So
it's a few
I
years ago,
say
but who
like
cares?
he, I don't. I think they're under this, but I think it. I'm. I think they could
Yeah,
get 10 wins.
they're an 8-9 win team. Like I think that's just the bottom line. Their defense is in shambles. Their offensive line, they're paying the bills from when Drew Brees was still the quarterback. Okay, next up we have the Miami Dolphins, 9.5 wins. Again, this is just an AFC East theme. I'm passing on this. I don't like the Dolphins. I was on it last year. I said they are going to collapse in December. And you know what they did? Guess how many games they won, Connor? 0.
Tua got
Bagel.
much sprain. Leave him alone.
Hey, it doesn't mean they have other players, but I agree.
Yeah,
Tua
at the
is a big
time they had a
reason.
seventh round because Teddy Bridgewater
Oh,
got
really?
hurt and got much brain
Really,
too.
because there was another team with a 7th round QB backup who came out and did just fine. As a matter of fact, they look great.
Hey,
So much so that they're starting that
yeah,
guy.
you're right. Who is that? Who does he play for?
He plays for the team I picked to go over.
Who did you just say is basically God himself,
Oh,
reincarnated as a head coach?
Don't be ridiculous.
Okay.
If he was God, Anthony Richardson, it doesn't make sense that way, you know? But yes, Kyle Shanahan.
What I'm saying is I
Former Browns
man,
offensive coordinator Kyle Shanahan, to be clear.
Woof. All right, so was it 9.5? All right, so they're gonna out of conference. Commanders out of conference. Chiefs out of conference. Chargers. Ooh, that's just out of conference. Ugh, man. Yeah, I don't see this.
I mean,
happening.
you look in conference, you got Aaron Rodgers, you got Josh Allen,
Eagles.
and you got. Oh, that's rough.
Eagles are out of conference too. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out of conference games that could totally go. You could go 0-5, maybe 1-4. And that's
I like the
division.
Dolphins. This is if you could bet their like half season win total, they're going to be a 6-3 team. But again, I think they fall off, and I don't trust Tua to stay upright for as long as
I think
they
go under that, and I would be more confident in that. I just, man, unless they somehow, yeah, I'm going under. I just don't see it.
All right, making good progress here. Next up is the Detroit Lions, our team, and you know what? Sticking true to the show, over on the Lions. Let's go, baby. What are you thinking?
What are they, 9.5?
Yep.
All right, so I definitely think they're going to take a pair from.
So they got the Packers twice, they got the Vikes twice, they got the Bears twice. I think they should
win that division this year.
That's minimum 4 wins.
They should win that division.
Yeah, I'm telling you, that's 4 or 5 wins. They got to find 4. They got to find 5 elsewhere. I think they got it.
Yeah, they got the Falcons. That's 1.
Ooh, did they play the NFC South?
6. I think they've got the Ravens. There's 7. I think Seahawks. Raiders 9. Yeah, I think Saints 10. So yeah, I think
there you go. Lions all the way, baby.
I think they definitely hit 10. I think the 9.5 is. I think they hit over. I feel pretty confident in that.
All right, here we go. Listen,
they host. They did just get a huge snag in the most average running back that was on the market in David Montgomery. So that's a big win for them. I would rather have Jamal Williams, but
dude, I think they did a great job filling out their roster minus David Montgomery, who we mock nonstop.
Side note, the fact is that fantasy guys, I'm sorry, I like Swift a lot, but my brother and I were having this conversation the other day. It is so unfortunate that he may or may not be anything more than a committee back for the rest of his career because of his injuries. And Dan Campbell clearly does not trust him.
Completely agree. But dude, every time he touches the ball, it's so electric.
They want him. He supposedly he wants to move him, he wants to be traded to be a bell cow. But how?
Dude, every running back wants to be traded. Nick Chubb has to be traded. Dalvin Cook, Derrick Henry. the running back is currently on a market inversion from making $15 million a year, and you're going to start seeing top contracts be at most $10 million. It's just an ugly place to be a running back. I'm sorry. It sucks. You touch the ball 300 times a year, and you get paid the least. Bottom line. Let's go on, though. Dallas Cowboys. I think everyone knows where I'm going to go. What are you thinking?
Where are you gonna go?
Oh, under.
Okay.
I will forever. Like if there is one thing you can count on is me betting against the Cowboys. Mostly for emotional sake, but also
Hey, man,
I
they
don't
get
believe
the
in them.
Panthers. They get the Panthers there. I see.
Uh,
Ugh. They got the Cardinals. They'll split with the Commanders. Oh, they got the. They do not have a. I mean, they do play in that. I mean, their division is pretty competitive, but I'm torn here. I'd say it's 50-50. I think that's a right about right.
I
I
agree.
could see it
I
being
agree. It
9
probably is
games.
right about right. But when you're borderline with the Cowboys, you lean on them to suck. All right. Next up, L.A. Chargers 9.5. This is an interesting one.
Man,
What are you thinking? I'll let you go
man,
first.
I want them to be good. I'm sorry. I just want them to.
Do you know why
I
you want them
do.
to be good? Because they go for it on 4th down and use analytics.
And I don't know. I just watch Justin Herbert throw the football, and I'm like, man, that guy can throw the football. Good like. And that's
That
how I
dude, I
feel.
feel like you went
I
borderline
like
full
Keenan
John
Allen
Gruden there.
because he's a true technician. I just like guys on their team. I don't know if they're going to be any good. I really don't. Could it be nine and a
They just
half?
gotta be healthy for once,
Yeah.
like ever. Because last year Allen was out, Mike Williams was out, Joey Bosa missed games. I think Khalil Mack missed some games. They lost J.C. Jackson, their big corner acquisition. Like they spend all this money on the right places and they do the right things, but this is 100% results over process, and the results have kicked their process in the face over and over again.
I mean, I think I would lean towards the over, but I wouldn't be confident. I might be like 60-40 over. I would probably
That
I would lean towards over.
uh, the thing is, it's just one of the like you look at their division. We already gave the Chiefs an over. That gives them, maybe 2 wins against the Broncos, a win here, a win against the Chargers, 2 against the Raiders. Like at some point, you start like looking at it. And you're like, oh, I booked the Raiders for 6 losses in division, but that's not going to happen. They'll steal a game or two, and
Yeah, they
so it's
will.
just hard to
Especially
pick
when
in
they
the same
draft
division multiple
especially when
overs
they
when you're
draft
betting.
Anthony Richardson to come in the second half of the year. He's going to be great.
All right, next up, we're sticking in the AFC West because why not? Denver Broncos. Their win total is 8.5. Now, someone previously said they are a good sneaky pick to make the Super Bowl, and that person
Is
really
dumb.
should stand by that and take the over here. What do you think?
Does that person have the stones to actually admit that he did that? That's the question.
What are you doing, man? You pick.
Why are you looking at me? You're the one that wants them.
I
I
know.
think that I think
I
that they
want.
go over.
I
There, I
am
said
a
it.
Sean Payton, Russell Wilson, true believer. Jerry Jeudy was like my favorite guy coming in the NFL. The dude's got talent. He runs routes so sickly. The defense is there, but it's like we just said, the Chargers are a great team we want to believe in, and the Chiefs are a good team we want to believe in. This team's got to win 8.5 games. This isn't the NFC West from last year. Or the NFC East. Not everyone can win 9 games.
Yeah, but I think that they're like they have Bears. Yes, I think they split once with Kansas City because I think Sean Payton is going to be smart enough to out. I think he'll be
I
able to
don't.
coach with Andy Reid. So they split. So there's 1-2. I think they have the opportunity to potentially split with the Chargers. So there's 3. Beat the Raiders. There's 4. Beat the Jets. 5. Beat the Vikings. 6. Beat the Dolphins. 7. Beat the
They
Texans.
beat the
8.
Packers 8. I'm in, dude. Never mind. I take back what I said. This is a 9-win team.
I think it's a 9-win team. I think they hit
Like
the
like
over.
this is a team that is going to be up and down. They're going to go 4-1 in a stretch, and they're going to follow it up with 2-3. But they're
I
going to
don't
be a
know
9-win
how
team.
Sean Payton did and like late in his career, or late in his Saints career, but
Dude, we talked about it when Sean Payton coached against good teams. He was pure. I'm a better coach. I'm gonna beat you. However, when he coached down to his opponents a lot too.
yeah,
So I'm hoping that we get full on. Sean Payton comes out, uh, goes all in, and is just like, I got to show the world what I can do. Still, I took a year off. I'm ready to go. And then next year he'll go back to I coach when it matters. All right, probably my favorite bet of the year. I'm so happy that this team is not in the bottom half, so I can make fun of them as a top 16 win total. New York Giants, 8.5. Under. Die, Giants, die. They are done.
you
So
don't know
happy.
that. Why? Because they signed.
Dan Jones is not the answer. You're asking the wrong question if that's the result you get.
I tend to agree with you. I think they hit. I think that they, man, I don't know how, but I think that they. I, I think that they had like a perfect storm last year, with the ability for them to just eke out wins. I
Dude, we
think
made fun
you
of them
get
so
a
much
one
because they
year.
kept winning fourth quarter games, like against bad teams.
I don't see how Saquon is a Giant after this year. They tagged him. I don't think he goes long term. I think they're on the front end. I think they're teetering. They didn't even sign Dan Jones for that long for this young. They're teetering. They have no wide receivers still. They got a hodgepodge. They got Paris Campbell. They got Hodgins back. They
They're
got Wandale Robinson.
You just made the case for like one of the best college teams I've ever heard, but I don't care because they're not in college. Like that's it. Like that's the only level that receiving core is actually respected.
I'd be pretty confident on the under on this one.
And then lastly, I'm all in on the under forever. Like I love Brian Dable, I love Wink Martindale. They should not touch their coaches. They should go get them real players. They started 7-2 last year. They ended the season 2-5-1. That is not a good football team. And the second half of their schedule was actually easier than the first, in my opinion.
They beat a really good Vikings team in the playoffs.
Are you really going to use really good?
They beat an okay Vikings team with the worst point differential ever in the history of a 12-win team.
That's much better. And to wrap up our show, Pittsburgh Steelers. 8.5 wins once again. AFC North, super competitive. I just like this. This is the Mike Tomlin mark, though. You know, this is the 500 mark. He's going to get to 8. He might get to 9. I think this move depends on what the Ravens do. Because if the Ravens don't have Lamar, we've seen over the last 2 years that is like a 3-win team at the best. So uh, I'm gonna hold on my pick here. We'll wait till later because we'll redo another show like this after the off season and stuff. But I'm gonna hold. I am
I
not leaning either way.
I think Pickett gets exposed. I think they're going to be drafting next year. Sorry, I know they want to commit to him, but I think he gets exposed. I don't think he takes a step forward. I think that they end up under 500 for the first time in Tomlin's career.
What were they last year?
I thought they were 9-8 last year.
Were they really? I thought yeah, they were. Wow. How like that's
Yeah,
incredible. They
yeah,
ended the year. So
yeah,
they were at 3-7. They ended the year 5-1.
yeah.
But let's take a look. So this is kind of funny. This is who they beat. The Colts, joke. Falcons, joke. Panthers, joke. Raiders, joke. Ravens, I just mentioned, joke. Browns in week 16 or week 18. Yeah, that was a cupcake finish to the
Doesn't
finish
matter,
line
man.
for
I'm
one of the
telling you.
best.
Like I said, I just think that this is it. Tomlin's gonna. He won't be on the hot seat, but he's never had to deal with a mediocre quarterback his whole career.
Now, what are you talking about? He had late stage Ben Roethlisberger.
Woof. Woof.
I guess you're right. That wasn't even mediocre. That was punching up to mediocre. Um, yeah.
Yeah,
So
and prime
that's it.
Troy Polamalu. Prime Troy Polamalu. Prime Joey Porter. Prime James Harrison. Come on.
Um, yeah, that's our win totals for the first half. If we didn't talk about them, it's because they're bad teams, and we'll be talking about them next show. The bottom 16. Fun looks in there, like the Falcons, the Patriots, the Bears will be a good one to talk about. I'm excited. Panthers, Packers, the Baker Mayfields. Man, I'm excited to do that half. That's the one we get to just completely roast teams for. But I forgot to mention big news actually. Irv Smith is on the Bengals. I think that's a sneaky good move because they got him on a cheap 1-year deal and they got a legit receiving tight end if he could stay on the field. But while he's there, he's going to be a beast.
We'll see. A lot of mouths.
You
to
don't
feed
like
over
Irv
there.
Smith, dude?
I do like Irv Smith. There's just a lot of mouths to feed on that team.
Yeah, but I think Irv Smith will be nice. Like it's that last piece in the playoffs. Like last year, if Tyler Boyd was healthy, I think they beat the Chiefs because he was shredding until he got hurt, like in the second quarter, maybe. If you had Irv Smith, he could have done the same thing, lined up in the slot and started shredding from there. So
Hayden Hurst
just
was
what?
fine.
Yeah, exactly. He was fine. Irv
Hayden
Smith
Hurst
better.
got signed by the Panthers.
Exactly.
Years,
he's not good.
3 years, baby.
I will always encourage players to make money. I will always make fun of them for doing so too. All right. Thank you so much for listening. Let us know what you think of our picks for overs and unders, what we got right, what we got wrong. If we didn't talk about your team, it's because we're talking about them next time. And to be frank, they're over.
They're not
under
very
total's
good.
not
Sorry.
good. No one cares, or they're not expected to be good. Because last year the Giants were in the bottom half, and we all know how that turned out. They sucked, and they got rewarded for it. All right, Connor.